This is going to be therapy. Given the shitty week that it's been in the video game industry, this is the only thing that I could talk about this week. It'd feel not good to just talk about something else entirely, knowing that thousands of people have been laid off by Xbox and Sony is making one of the most anti-consumer moves a company has made in the industry in a long time. You cannot sidestep the topic. However, if I'm going to be totally honest, I don't have much to say that hasn't already been said before and isn't being said by other people now. I don't think it's worth my time to sit down and regurgitate news itself. That's all out there. And again, other people are doing it. At the same time, I don't have a unique take on it. I don't have like a insightful, different angle on it. There is only one angle. It sucks. It's awful. What I do have is just simmering anger, frustration, a decent amount of helplessness, and just a confusion, I think. So the memo went out from Xbox, written by Asha Sharma and Matt Booty, and in that they talked about how the reset isn't going well. They need to take some measures to kind of scale back, and as part of that scaling back, they're going to make 3,000 plus, I think it's 3,400 jobs, might be 200 jobs, redundant. Some of those are happening now. Others will have to live in fear for the next few months until the axe inevitably comes down on them. The thing I want to say is that news was bad enough. I think the really, really reckless thing that they did is follow it up by saying they want to hit 1 billion daily users. Absolutely unhinged behavior to include that in the same memo where you're telling people they no longer have a job. Intentional or not, that is so cruel because it does not paint a picture of Xbox caring about the people now and caring about the people that are still there and will be leaving in the future after they are laid off. That, I described it on social media as the kind of thing that makes you prepare for Amazon level piss in bottles type workloads and situations. I'm sure that won't be the case, but it's such a unattainable number that in a moment where people are down in the dumps, they have the worst possible mindset about what's happening now. Their colleagues are being let go and they don't know if they're next. When you say something like that, they aren't able to flip a switch and interpret it positively. That is going to come out not only negatively, but even more negative than it looks on the page. That's the kind of negativity that will stick in their head when they leave the desk, when they're walking home, when they're at the grocery store, when they're staring their kids and their family in the eyes, when they're looking at their bank account. That's the kind of statement that you callously throw out there, thinking this is going to be ambitious, this will appeal to the shareholders and show them we've got big plans, but it comes at the cost of the loyalty, I guess, and the conditions that everyone else who will be doing the work to try and get you this unattainable number will feel. That number is not only poorly timed, it's also comically stupid. How are you going to get 1 billion users? Okay, we just watched, now that it's been reported, Game Pass flop, and how much money was spent on that. You can't really figure out a series of moves that could have put Xbox in an even better position to grow Game Pass than what they did. They bought Activision Blizzard. They bought King, two of the biggest companies in the world, two of the highest revenue earners in the world. They bought multiple studios, Ninja Theory, which gave them the Hellblade games, arguably two of the most recognizable games on that platform. They bought Arcane, one of the best developers in the world right now, in terms of design, artistic ability, just vision, just a powerhouse of creativity. Double Fine, beloved, just ideas that no one else will think of. Compulsion, doing really cool, interesting things, coming at games from a unique angle, making them fun and cool. Even if they don't sell crazy well, you have all the pieces on the board. If that wasn't enough, if the billions spent to set that up wasn't enough to get you to a fraction of the way, how are you gonna get to that new billion number by cutting stuff and reducing the types and amount of games that you're making? I am sure there's more complexities and nuances to what is going to feed into that number. Maybe they'll suddenly release Microsoft Word on Xbox and anyone who's actively using a Word document counts. It still ain't happening. It's still not going to happen. The right here, right now, makes you look foolish when you do something like that. Like, it doesn't show that you've understood the limitations of what you can do and what is possible and recognized the things that is going to prevent that, which are very real realities that are impacting the entire industry, and it's very much your fault. And you say $1 billion? That is just, it feels cruel to the point of intentionality. Maybe put that out in a separate memo. Like, you can release it 10 minutes later. Like, you can, fine, say it for the shareholders. Put some extra numbers in there, fluff the numbers, tell them where you want to go, tell them you're going to get $1 trillion. Do $1 trillion, go for it. I don't care. Put it in a separate document. The fact that it was placed where it is negligence, I think. And the fact that no one stopped it is also negligence. So that is one of the things that pissed me off the most. That billion number, it doesn't come off as a ambition that people want to strive for. It is the clearest, crystallized indication of capitalism gone rampant, to the point where the people who are controlling it, instigating it, and stand to benefit of it are losing the plot. Like, those people can't even control it. 1 billion? Like, that might have been just an off-the-cuff number, but to say that is unbelievable. Chasing profit to the extent where anything you do from this point on won't be enough. You'll never meet that number. You could buy Sony, maybe, and have all the PlayStation games. Will that get you to 1 billion? I don't think so. I don't know the extent of their numbers, but I'm pretty sure it won't take them to 1 billion daily users or whatever that number was. You're kind of putting into focus how unattainable and how futile anything they do is as developers, as creators, in an industry where what they have experienced is if you make a good game, you get laid off. If you make a bad game, you get laid off. If you make a okay game, you get laid off. If you do everything right, you hit all the metrics, you make the right decisions, you study it and you look at the trends and align everything perfectly to hit every single hot trend, and the game is a success, you still get laid off. That is the industry that people are seeing around them. And when they get laid off, they're thrown into the wild to a job market that is non-existent in their particular field. So when they see that kind of stuff, it is a reminder of how expertly they've been set up to fail. It's a reminder that no matter what happens, you're gonna get the short end of the stick. There's gonna be a fraction of people, a few people who will truly benefit from the success if you can get lucky enough to hit it. And those are the people that have nothing to do with the actual nitty-gritty toiling away to make the product that's gonna go out there that will inevitably give them money. Meanwhile, PlayStation, I think the best vocalization of what that is and how unbelievable and the ramifications of it is Daniel Dwyer's video on NoClip 2, and he talks about how we're basically cutting people off from being able to play games by completely eliminating the option to buy it in any way other than full price on the PlayStation Store or maybe slightly discounted. That is a move that transparently was made so that Sony could get a bigger piece of the pie. PlayStation could get a bigger piece of the pie. And the thing about it is, it was made to the detriment of giving your business a small element of sustainability and future proofing it. Like, you get rid of physical, you are going to shrink that audience a significant amount. Like, not even because, oh, you know, people are going to stop playing. No, I'm talking about, like, there are regions in the world where it is close to impossible for people to buy games digitally and download them, especially given how large they are in file sizes now. That is shrinking an audience. And the fact of the matter is, gaming is quickly becoming a rich person's pastime. The people who make the games, the people who play the games, are being priced out slowly. There's reports, or there's rumblings that the next generation of consoles is going to cost $1,000. That is crazy. Like, that is a number where you cannot conceivably buy it as a present for someone on their birthday. You can't just kind of save up for it. It feels impossible. And anyone who does buy it, short of being rich and affording it as through disposable income, is going to feel that for a really long time. It is anti-consumer. And what can we do about it? I mean, it feels futile. And it very, very much is in many ways. The only thing you can really do is try and find alternatives and support that. That means indie games. That means, you know, buying games on older platforms maybe. I don't really know how you fix that. What I do know is people always say keep politics out of games. I think the opposite needs to happen. People need to take a step back, look at the wider world, and absorb, understand, familiarize with the politics that enables capitalism to wreck the entire world. Because that is happening on a smaller scale in the video game industry. The people who are making the games are no longer in charge of the means of production. That's the only way that any sort of fairness is introduced into this process. That is effectively what it is. You need to know that the capitalism class, the capital class, the execs who are earning money, more money, regardless of what happens, they are in it to take as much money as possible and draw a hard line in the sand between your ability to enjoy a product and benefit from the product that you are making. And I think people really need to be harsher to everyone on that side, the execs. They're not your friends. They're not your friends. And I'm speaking to myself as much as I'm speaking to everyone else out there. The time of treating people like personalities, executives like personalities, is over. It's time to be ruthless. It's time to be holding their feet to the fire, because this is a level of boldness in the destruction of people's lives that it can only come from supreme arrogance. Just an insatiable need to satisfy shareholders. They're not going to think about the little guy. So the little guy needs to get up in their face and make themselves heard. That's the only thing you really can do. And maybe nothing happens. Maybe it leads to something. In all likelihood, nothing happens. But at least we can make it as difficult for them as possible. That's all I got, man.